Are we live? We're live. Welcome back. We're having little difficulties getting the video on. Sometimes it does not process fast enough. We were a little late in the day. It's just kind of, you know how shit goes. It runs downhill. So anyways, we're running downhill today. What I'm going to do, we got the pieces painted. We don't want to go there right now. What we're going to do is we're going to fill a hole, not a hole, where the wipers were in the 55 Elvis. I cut them out, took the plasma cutter, and I just cut them out. Some people are upset that I don't have the wipers. Some people don't care. And basically what matters is mine opinion, and I don't care, because of the simple fact is I will never probably drive this car in the rain, not looking forward to it. The windshield that we have done, not looking forward to scratching it and tearing it all up. So I'm figuring that we'll delete the window wipers, we'll use Rain-X, and generally nowadays I drive under care full time. And basically that's it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this hole right here where the window wiper was. I got one over there filled, and I'm just going to do a basic repair and show you how I do it as quick as I can in front of your very eyes. Let's do it. We're doing it live. It's not Saturday Night Live. It's Bad Chat Live. Let's do it. So I got the windshield wiper. I just cut a hole in that quickly. Just took the plasma cutter and cut it out. Nothing special. Just cut it out. I'm going to clean around a little bit. I don't want to make a whole bunch of dust. We got the paint room door open there. Things are dry, but I don't think nothing's going to hurt it. So what we'll do is we'll just clean this off, do a basic repair, and call it a night. I like the feather fill primer. You can tell that stuff can go on thick if you want it to. That's for sure. If you think that if you don't put body fill on your car and you are priming it and then blocking it, that is fill, I'm afraid to tell you. That is fill. It goes on nice and thick. Just going to take with our plasma cutter, cut that. I put a little bit of slag on the inside. I'm just going to go on the inside and take it off. So this is just going to be a basic repair. So what I'm going to do for that is I'll just grab a little piece of paper. Take a little piece of paper just on the side here. But I'm just going to take my finger, take my 3D printer, get in there now. Like that. We can see my pattern. We'll get a pair of scissors. Got Jolene's chassis covered up so we didn't get any overspray on it. Basically, I find if you have to be careful when you paint something. I said acrylic enamel earlier in the earlier video. It's not acrylic enamel, it's urethane. But you have to be careful when you cover something like that with plastic after you paint it. It's good for it to dry for a couple days before you do that. I find that the plastic will draw moisture. I'm just going to pick it off right now. We'll draw moisture into the paint, and you'll see it. Guarantee me you'll see it. Paint a car, and then the next day throw a piece of plastic on it and watch it draw the moisture in through the paint, or draw the moisture to it. It will do that. It will. I guarantee it will. So I'm just pulling it off there. I've done it too many times. And now I don't try not to do it too many times. I try not to do it. Just pull that off. Go back to my pattern here. So basically, if you made a hole in your car, take a piece of paper. I have to fight the paper again. Little pattern here. It's crooked, but you know what? It's telling me the truth. It's telling me the truth. Someday we'll get back to that, hopefully. Can't see that side this way. Just going to cut this off so it stops fighting with me. Keeps rolling up on me. Now I can see it maybe. This is just a basic repair. Not sure how that goes in there. Just like so. Okay, we're going to lay this down on a piece of metal. Get a marker. Thank you very much for the markers. I muchly appreciate it because I go towards them all the time. And I appreciate it. Anybody that has sent us anything in here at all for a gift, I appreciate it. And I will use it in the time it needs to be used. Put it on that side. Now I know if I stay to my line when I cut it with a pair of scissors, I know that the inside of the black marker is the shape that I want. So when I cut this with the shear, I'm not going to stay on the outside of the black marker. I'm going to go on the inside of the black marker. You know, so this is the shape. So if I'm taking my marker and going around the outside of it, I don't want to cut on the outside of my marker. It's going to be too big. I want to cut on the inside of the line. That's what I want to do. Let's do it. And this thing here, sometimes it works really nice, and other times it plays with you. Just cut it off, get a smaller size going on. Lost the bolt in the handle. Sometimes I don't take time to do much. All I do is try to go forward, and sometimes it'll take you behind if you're just trying to go forward all the time. You know, cleaning up the shop, that sort of stuff. Sometimes I just kind of let it go to the wayside, and it catches up with you after a while. It catches up with you. Not being real careful with what's going on, just kind of cutting it off. You can see I've nibbed it all off. I've got some edges on it. That's fine. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my little magnets. Well, that would you? Them things are strong. See which way this fits the best. I can't tell with that on it. Just want to see which way it fits the best. Looks like it fits the best that way. Take my marker. That's got a little bend in it there. And I'll take it to the brake and I'll put a little bend in it, make it fit the best I can. We'll butt weld that in, grind it off, put a little fill on it, and call it a day. Something like this, all I did is drew a line across that because I can see the bend here and it's coming across here, and I'm just going to take it over to the brake and bend it. Not going to make any noises, so I'm just going to bend it. Something like this here, I feel like it's an hour. Whoa, watch yourself, sweetheart. It's you know, any more than an hour on something like this, it's just sort of too long. Or not too long, I shouldn't say that. It is what it is, but let's face it. A certain amount of time for something. I'm going to bend it a little bit more. Oh, I'm breaking my tape. Didn't want to do that, but I did. I liked looking at it, but that's okay. That's okay. So if I make a patch panel, I try to time myself, but I like, if I'm going to make a patch, doesn't matter if it's this big or if it's that big. I like to see it be done in an hour, And that way there I'm making good time, and basically I'm making time. And I'm just going to trim that up a little bit more. Trim it up a little bit more. And we'll set that in there and we'll weld it in there. Grind it off, get it filled out, see what happens. Get a pair of vice grips. Stepping around now. I said an hour. I didn't even get my tools out. We're just going live. I was sitting down the house, having a little resty poo, and the video didn't work, so here I am. Let's do it. I am dedicated to my followers. Am I not? Huh? I must be. I must be. I'm up here doing something. Did not take today. Let's see what happens when I just lay it on there like that. Gotta love that little magnet. It's hot. I don't know what it looks like underneath of it, but I'm gonna go with it. All right, let's get the welder going. We'll just put the, watch it, I'm gonna put put the ground on behind you, sweetheart. Yeah, it's nice to go live, and the reason being is I'm going to get this hole filled. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I'm going to get this hole filled, and I appreciate it. The little push tonight, you know, get a little more done than I usually get done. That's basically what's going on. I would not be welding this hole up without everything not going the way it was supposed to. So I gotta thank that. All right. It's flush down here, so I'm gonna hit it. Flush there. Not so flush up in there, that's fine. I'm gonna go get a hammer. Nope, I'm gonna use these vice grips. I want to get the air because I do not want any heat messing anything up. I've got a blanket laying there. I don't want to catch that on fire, but just gonna go slowly here. I'm going to get a hammer, put that in there. There a little bit. Flush. Everything I got leaks like a sieve. Annoying. Flush there. I like high heat on the welder because you're in and out so quick. Too, when I cool it off like that, also when it comes nighttime, when we leave the shop, we'll probably leave the shop after this, you know, we'll go down the house, finish a bottle of wine maybe, have a little drinky poo-poo, but when I cool that off like that, I don't have to be scared about walking away after a bit. I generally don't leave the shop half hour after I weld something, because I don't want to burn the place down, unless I'm making pizza and making windows. But anyways, you know, like, if you keep it, if you know what I'm saying, if you keep it cool, then most of the time you're not looking for a fire. Nice. 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 Not hurting anything, not whatsoever. I'll knock this down right here a little bit. Basically what I'm doing when I weld that, I'm putting one spot on and then I'm starting. Well, if I spot that right there, then I'm spotting right there. Or I got a spot there, but if I start it, I'm going to spot right there halfway on it, and I'm going to start halfway on that again. Just basically just make sure. And I generally try to like the red to go away before I start again. Let you know that it's cool. That's all. That's all I'm doing there. Let you know that it's cool. She's cool. I'm going to knock that off of the grinder right there because we're laying on top there a little bit, and I'm going to try to knock it off and make it look really good. I don't want that grinder. I want this grinder. I've got this laying up here on top of that a little bit. I'm going to try to grind that off so we can't tell. Here we go. Just took a little off it. I'm going to have to fix this sometime soon, I see. Wow. Anyways, let's get her done. Jolene's trying to see how good I am by standing on my cord. Good. Must understand, if I'm not able to touch it, there's no warping going on. And what I go by is, when you touch a black car in the wintertime, or in the summertime, it'll burn you, but it doesn't warp it all up. So you basically, that's how I tell how hot it can be and how hot it can't be, or whatever. That's how I know when nothing's going to warp. If it's hot to touch it first, that's fine. You're generally not warping anything, but yeah, that's how I tell. You know how hot a car is in the summertime, so if it's not warping when it's that hot, your car should be fine when you're welding it. Basically, that's how I know. Pinhole here. Now, when I grind this off, everybody must understand. If I grind, okay, I would say the car itself, Elvis, the metal on that thing, on this car, would probably be, I'm saying that the metal is probably a 19 gauge or 20 gauge, right around there somewhere. That's what I'm thinking. It's not 18, I don't think, because the metal I'm using seems to be a little bit thicker. But when I grind that off, and I grind off the weld, if I'm hitting the car, that means I'm taking metal away from the car. You must understand that. If I'm grinding the metal that's in the patch, I'm taking metal away from the patch. You must understand that. If I'm grinding it off that you cannot tell it's there, I must be taking metal off both pieces unless I've got that perfectly leveled out, perfectly matched up to weld it on. And if I do have it perfectly welded, if I do have it perfectly on there and butting it on there, to grind it off and still, so you cannot see it, you must realize how much metal and stuff you are taking away from the car, or the piece of metal that you put in. And you must realize that. So if I take this down and I scrub that down, that weld down, I get it down to this metal, and I get it down to that metal that I just put in there, and I keep scrubbing it down until I get it flushed out. If I put the patch in there flush, you must understand, has it got perfect penetration? It has to well, it doesn't have to have, excuse me. If it does not have perfect penetration, then you really are taking the integrity of the piece that you've just put in there. I am going to grind down the weld that I have there, and then I'm going to check it out. Because I do not enjoy taking away from this or that when I'm trying to fix the both of it. So you must understand that if that's what's going on. You know, if you see stuff that's being scrubbed down and polished, you must understand how much metal is being taken away to get that. You must understand. If you do not understand, well then I'm telling you that you have to scrub this metal and the metal you put on there to get that weld to feather out. It's just like when you body fill something. If I put body fill on the fender, you must understand that you were sanding the metal on this side and you were sanding the metal on this side, so it must happen to do the exact same thing when you're doing that on that. And I generally do not like to do that because it takes the integrity of what you've just done out. Also, this is a small grinder for more precision. A big grinder, what I generally use, like a flapper wheel or something like that, is for bigger stuff. So the smaller the tools, the finer the work, basically. Not liking that already. It's not working fast enough. Let's go get a different one. We'll get the zip cut here. I like the zip cut generally. I find it cuts good and quick. Let's do it. Now I'm saying that I've got that flushed off pretty decent. Now, for me to make that disappear, I have to take a metal away from that and metal away from that when I had it flushed off. You must agree. So now, right now, I'm flushing it off so you cannot see it, but I'm taking metal away from that. Taking metal away from that, and I'll be taking metal away from that. You must understand that. Now you can see I got a little bit of there going on. You can see a little edge there, you can see a little edge there. If I want to get that, that means I have to take more metal away from that, or I have to turn the welder on again and weld that up around that edge, weld a little bit there, and weld that little pinhole. I have to do that. That's what I have to do. I'm not willing to go there. That's fine for me. I'm going to take the flapper wheel, knock it off, and I'll clean it with a drill, and then I'll put some fill on it, and that'll be the end of it. But you must understand, if things are looking like they've never been welded, that means metal's being taken off both surfaces to get that. Now I'm going to get a drill. I'm just going to knock that. If that feels nice, going to get a drill and just clean that up the best I can. Got a drill here with a cleaner wheel on it, or a stripper wheel of some sort. And believe me, I can keep grinding that and knock it down till you cannot see that. But you have to ask yourself, what am I doing to the metal around the weld? What am I doing to it? I'm taking it away and making it thinner, thinner, and thinner, and thinner. Believe me. And I don't go there. I'd rather use a little bit of, Bondo. Do I know where the stripping wheel is, baby? Can't see it. And my eyes are wide open, but I can't see it. See the stripping wheel around? You haven't seen it? Haven't seen it, man? I found it. I got her. So this is the wheel I like to use after I weld up something like that. It's just a little stripping wheel, and I find it cleans up really nice around the edges where it looks like it's dark. So you must understand too, also, when that happens and you're not feathered down, you got a few little pinholes in your weld, that means you're back onto your welder again, heating it up again, and doing it again, and then you're grinding more again. That's what it means. Now I got that little spot there. I should probably tack that, probably hit that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get inside and take a look. And you know what I can do? If I see any light, I know there's a pinhole. And if I can't see any light, it's okay. Nope. No light, so I'm going to leave it. There's no light shining through. I just look underneath the dash. So now I'm going to take and put a little bit of mud on that. I can also hit this too because it's not. Remember, when you weld something on like that, if it's high in one spot, that means you got to carry your fill further either both ways. I'm going to run down there and get a little piece of sandpaper behind us here. So when it's high, if it's high anywhere, that means you have to hit it with a hammer to knock it down. When you knock it down, I'm not going to use that filler, I'm going to use this filler. Just bring the whole thing with me. Why wouldn't I do that? Who? Grandpa Johnny. Hello, Grandpa Johnny. Huh? Grandpa Johnny watching tonight? Thanks for watching, man. Appreciate it. This was unexpected. I was down the house having a little drinky poo, my wine, and the damn video wouldn't load. So here I am doing live. But that's okay. It's no different than any other day. That's for sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper and sand around that a little bit further because ouch, carry the fillet a little bit. Anybody that's watching, I appreciate it. You know, we do this, you know, for our valued fans and our followers. We do it for you guys, that's for sure. I'm just going to sand. This is urethane primer. I'm going to sand just a little bit further than it's supposed to be, just so when I put the mud on, it sticks. There's no sense putting mud on something that you have not sanded. You know, I mean, let's face it, we want the best adhesion that we can get. Best adhesion we can get. And that's what I'm going for. Feeling all right? Hello, Fina. I'm going to put on more. Wagging her tail, she's having a good time. I'm going to put on more than I need. And you know the reason why. If I do not have it, I have to come back and do it again. The more times you have to come back and do it again, the longer it takes. I think Fina wants to go outdoors. You want to go outdoors, Fina? Stepping on my toe. You want to go outdoors? Come on, let's do it quick. Certain amount of time. What's that, sweetheart? Yeah, there you go. Just pushing it down on. Jolene's got low batteries that she's saying. We're just not prepared all the way around today, people. The old weather going out kind of threw us off, didn't it? Threw us a curveball. And that's basically where we're at. You know how that goes. Shit runs downhill. Doesn't it, baby? Mm-hmm. Shit runs downhill. Baby knows. Putting on more than I need. That's definitely for sure. Hopefully. I can get that in one run. If I can get that in one run, I'm the champ. I'm going to leave that like that. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit right here. We'll just leave that like that. I got plenty of hardener in it, so it should heal quickly. Clean this off. And the wine was good that the guy sent that had, what was his name? Do we know? Tom Jones. I wore that shirt the other night, Tom Jones. I wore it out to supper. Vote for Elvis. I did so. Good job, Jolene. Jolene remembered the name. Good job. Good job. Put it right on the spot, I did. Put it right on the spot, I did. Just going to let that dry. The patch was there, so we'll run that off. Hopefully we can have it done within the hour. How long are we now? 40? I'm 50. Excuse me, I'm going to cheers to everybody. Cheers. We're doing a little late video tonight. Things didn't work out for us. I like to have a little drink of red wine before I go to bed. Basically, let's do this. Let's put the heat gun on. Let's get it done. So big patch, small patch, whatever kind of patch. I time myself sometimes. I like to get them done within an hour, you know, just timing myself. And the reason being is the quicker it gets done, I guess the better they consider you, do they not? And yeah, that's the way it goes. I could have taken my time to weld around the patch and put a little bit more weld on it, grind it off a little bit more. But like I said before, you must understand, the more you grind that metal, the more you're taking off. And I have nothing against, oh Elvis, I don't want to take any more metal off than I have to. And if I want to tap the high spot with a hammer, I'm not scared to tap it. I'm not scared to tap because I know it's welded. Don't want to burn it, just want to make it work. I like Rain-X. Rain-X, I think, works fine. Generally, we don't take off in the old cars in the rain anyways. And if you've ever driven a 50s car, you must know that the wipers are not that great. You step on her, the wipers stop. It's kind of a vacuum system on the wipers on these cars. And it's not a great system, that's for sure. I'm not saying it's the worst system, but let's face it, the old 50s wipers weren't much. And for anybody to be upset about not having wipers, try some Rain-X and you'll probably think, wow, that's good stuff. Wow, that's good stuff. Just hitting it while it's soft. Grab an old piece of paper. If you hit this before it's too soft, you will rip it off the car. You'll rip it off the car. In something like this, I do not mind sanding or doing it by hand, and I'll tell you the reason why. Like, I mean, a little block or whatever, you can if you want to, but something small like this, you would never see a wave in that unless you're not really paying attention how you're sanding it off. Basically, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to get a piece of 80 grit. Where's the stickies at, sweetie pie? You had the stickies. Over there. Yeah, them are 4 too. Right here. I sent for some Dora blocks today. Some Dora blocks. I think I like them. I have one in there. I don't know where it come from, but I have one. And I think I'm going to, when I block this car out, because I will use a block on Elvis, I'll block the whole thing, I promise. I promise. Now, so I'm going to explain this. If I'm going this way, I'm taking it off. If I go in this way, I'm taking it off. When I come over this side, I'm feathering it off. When I sand it this way, I'm taking it off. When I go over this way, I'm feathering it off. 2 different ways. 2 different ways. This is Z-grip. And when you do your panels together and you block them together, you really know whether you got something fitting nice. That's for sure. Feathering it off. Feathering it off. I take one of them door blocks right now. I want the round one. Is it easy? Trying to feather it off over here. Anything high generally looks okay. Anything low does not look good at all. Ocean floor should be coming soon. Ocean floor is the metal. That's as far as we're going, is the ocean floor. As soon as we hit the ocean floor, we are all done. Basically. Fina just had to check and see if it was snowing out. She wants back in. I do 40, 80, and then prime. Did not glass it because nothing is underneath of it. The dash is right there. There's nothing flying underneath of it. Now, if it was on the side of the fender and there was something getting inside of it, like water or anything like that, you would glass it first for protection. Where it's up here, there's nothing coming up underneath the dash. It should be dry there all the time. Should be. If it's not, you have a problem. There's the ocean floor right there. I'm not really liking that already, but there it is. And the reason being is I'm not feathered off over here. That feels good on, it feels good on this side, but on this side it feels a little shy. Just going to take and scrub it easy. Feathering it off. Don't want no edge there. I'm saying my metal is a little bit high. I think I would prime that though. There we are. Not bad. Not bad. To me, like in all honesty, that metal's showing quite heavy. It could use a tap, tap, tap with the hammer, and I'm not scared to tap with the hammer, but that means I'm going back to that. And I generally don't want to go back to that. I just want to go where it's at now. I would prime that and see if it takes it. So I'm happy with that. It seems a bit heavy. Yes, it does. But basically that's a patch repair in an hour. Is it an hour? There's a patch repair, and I can hit that if I want to and put a little bit more on that and knock that down a little bit. Or I could even take the grinder and take some of it off and knock it down that way instead of hitting it with the hammer. But you must realize if you start doing that butt welding thing and you're trying to make it look perfect, you must realize how much metal you're taking off to get that to look right, and how many times you're going back in and welding it back up. It's not just a simple process where you weld it up and it's perfect, you grind it off, it's perfect. No. You do it once, you don't like it, you get some spots in it, and you do it again, you grind it, you take more metal off, then if you don't like it again, then you grind it again. That's what you must understand about that stuff. Sometimes, well, it's basically the only way, come on in, Fina, the only way that basically anybody would know how you get that metal like that is to watch the full process without, turning off the tube and then continuing on to show how long it takes to get that done. And then you would have to play it in your brain whether you would, if it's worth it to you or not. I've played it in my brain. I've done it many times trying to get that patch to look like it's never been there. And basically, I get upset with myself because I've taken the metal so far. picking and filing some metal, like picking and filing, you know. Well, why don't you pick and file it? Well, you know, you understand when you take that file, when you scrape that against that metal, how much metal you are taking off to play with that and to pick and file something. You really are taking away your surface that you're messing with. If anything ever happens, like if anything happens at all that you got a high spot when you're filling it, and if you don't fill cars, you must realize something's going boom, boom, and then it's done. It's over. It's over. But you must realize that, but when you start doing that, you really are taking away from something that you want. You want strength in that metal. You want strength in that metal, to me, but if you start thinking that you're picking file and everything and trying to get it the best you can and putting that blue paint on it and scratching it down and file it some more and pick it some more, in the end, you have not got much. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. You do it the way you want to do it. I do it the way I want to do it. I just enjoy welding it on, grinding it off, grinding the weld off, and then trying to feather it off a little bit, and then mudding it out. That's basically the way I like to do it. You do it your way, I'll do it my way, and that we'll all be happy. 1 hour, one patch, body filled. You want any questions? Any questions you want to answer? Anybody want to ask a question or anything like that? Because I'll answer it. I'm big, fat, and tough. What?
We're at 10%. I just got notified, so there's a couple
Our laws here, I know people ask, I'll just answer a few questions I think that people want to answer. Well, I took away the windshield wipers. Well, the laws here in Nova Scotia says on antique cars that your person that comes and looks at your car has to certify that it's worthy for the road. In every car that we do, we have brand new tires, we do brand new brakes, we have all the glass in it, we have all our lights working. All the ball joints are usually new. Everything like that sort of stuff is new. Yes, we customize the stuff, but it does not say that it has to pass inspection. It says, is it worthy? Is it safe on the road? And all the cars that we build, I consider safe. If you have brand new brakes, you have brand new brake lines, you have brand new tires, you're driving them probably 10% or 20% of the time. What would anybody worry about? You know, basically. I would worry more about putting a 350 with 500 horsepower with the original brakes on. I'd worry more about that than I would anything at all. Like, basically, here in Nova Scotia, it's a good place because of the simple fact that if your car is worthy, like if you have someone has an inspection license, don't even have to have an inspection license. They can have a certified mechanic's license if they feel that it's worthy of the road. It's not going to hurt nobody. You're not anything like that. Generally, you can get someone to pass it. It does not have to be inspected. And what I mean by inspected, it does not follow their rules. It follows the antique rules. And I would say anybody that says a car is safe for the road does not want to hurt anybody. Nobody wants to hurt anybody, that's for sure. But it is nice to have a little bit of freedom. It is. And anybody that's drove a 50s car knows that the wipers don't work when you jump on it anyways. If you jump on the pedal, the wipers don't work anyways, basically. So what I'm saying is, if the car is worthy of the road, like if you're driving a piece of junk, no one's going to let it on the road. Let's get real. But if you're driving something that's got new tires on it, new brakes on it, all the lights work, it's got good glass in it, it's safe for the road, they will let it pass. That's for the antique rules. And I think it's a great thing. It really is. I don't think there's a bunch of accidents going on with antique cars unless someone is messing around and playing with their horsepower or something. And then, you know, it's sort of their problem, is it not? I know when I got in the accident with my car, I did not get hurt. It wasn't something that I planned. I hit a car. And I bent the front. I hurt my feelings more than anything, but the car that I was driving had brand new tires on it, had excellent brakes on it, all the glass was good, the steering was good. Did I turn my sound off? What's that? Okay. So basically that's what's going on. I will have a mechanic look at the car. He'll probably go over the front end, check that. Well, he'll know that would be good because I'll have all new stuff in it. We'll have all new brake lines. We'll have brand new tires. All the steering will be new. We'll have a new knuckle in it. We'll have a new steering column. All the glass will be okay. And if you still feel it's not safe, ride a motorcycle. Basically is what I'm thinking. But anyways, peace out. Have a good one. That was live. 1 patch per hour. You're a good man.